Hello and welcome back to Voices of a Vic podcast. First of all, a very Merry Christmas to everyone listening. We hope you've all had a brilliant one spent with your family and friends and enjoying the festive period. I'm your host, Ben Ayton, and today we've got a lot to talk about. Watford make it 3 wins in a row with a massive 1-0 away victory at Norwich City, decided in dramatic fashion by Semedo in the 89th minute at Carrow Road. Another huge result, another clean sheet, and a win that lifts the Hornets right into the playoff places. Sitting sixth in the table. And I'm not flying solo tonight. I'm delighted to be joined by Joe Thomas. Joe, how are you, mate? And more importantly, did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good, thank you. And yeah, Christmas was wonderful. Um, Spent it with Nat's family and the girls, which was really nice. But yeah, no, all good. And do you know what? The festive period was made a lot better by Watford FC. Um, we were sceptical about how many points we would get over those. Well, I'd say the 3 games: Stoke, Leicester, and Norwich, especially. We've not really got too good a record at Leicester City. That was our first win since 2013, I believe, there. Norwich City, over recent years, we've not been too good there. We're a bit up and down and hit and miss, so you never know what to expect. I think Mike and I said we'd be happy, I think, with 2 or 3 points out of those 2 games. Yeah, it's just been amazing, isn't it? Like, it's just great to see us winning. It's great to see us grinding out results. It's great to see us keeping clean sheets. Two in
Yeah.
3 games. And yeah, I mean, I'm just honestly, you'd have to say you're on cloud nine being a Watford fan at the moment, wouldn't you?
100%. We couldn't buy back-to-back wins for, I don't know, probably about nearly a year, wasn't it? The last back-to-back Watford wins were back in February, I want to say. Was it the Middlesbrough and Luton games were the last back-to-back wins for Watford? Whereas now we've done back-to-back wins, but added in another one, and Watford have now got back-to-back away wins. When the last back-to-back away wins for Watford, if I saw this correctly earlier, was the Preston North End victory last year, followed up by the Blackburn Rovers away win. But 3 wins
Yes.
on a bounce, Joe, is like you say, Watford fans are on dreamlands, and we really didn't expect this to come from Watford. A lot of momentum with the side. Three unchanged starting 11s as well, Joe, not to forget. Crazy period of football. And for us to do 3 unchanged teams speaks volumes, really, that Javi's found players that he trusts. He found a system that he trusts, and he knows that they're going to give all. They're all for the shirt, and I think that's something we can take away from this season, Joe. Is the never die attitude from the players, whether it's coming from behind or scoring late goals. They just find a way to pick up points, don't they? And to pick up three points. And last night was the example of that.
Yeah, I think consistency is the main thing there. From that is the fact that I think I touched on it a few times. The main thing that a manager just needed to do was just to stick with as much of a starting 11 as you can, and obviously Javi's doing it now, picking unchanged teams every game at the moment. Um, I mean, I have to say, for me, that partnership between Pollock and Max Celine now is just it's just unbelievable. Like, you look at them as a pair now, and you just think, who could actually come in and unsettle this? I just don't think anyone could at the moment. I think they both look absolutely brilliant together. They both know what each other are like and about. You can see they both communicate to one another during games as well.
Mm,
They were both really unlucky not to score last night. Pollock again.
yeah.
Obviously, he had that header, didn't he, in the second half? Elaine had the shot that hit the post. You can see they're not afraid to get forward. They're great defensively. And it's that spine, I think, now. Like, you look through the middle of our team now, and you think you've got those two. You've got Kipriano and Loser as well. I mean, as a four, I mean, it's just like what can you not love about that as a four? I mean, it's just fantastic. And then just everybody else. They're all putting in a shift. Mark Bowler last night, fantastic as well. I just love everything about what's going on about Watford at the moment. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's great to watch. It's exciting. It's enjoyable. Last night wasn't a fantastic game. I thought we were good for probably maybe 40 minutes over the entire 90, perhaps. Like the spells of the second half, certainly the first 25, 30. But, they found a way. It wasn't a pretty goal. It wasn't the best goal, but it was great play from Iran Kunda. Got lucky with the finish. But it was us that kept going. We kept going till the end. Like you say, that never say die attitude. They're playing for the fans. They're playing for the shirt. We got the 3 points, and I mean we're sitting sixth in the league. I mean it's bloody brilliant, isn't it?
It's yeah. I'm lost for words. The turnaround of results and performances from Pezzolano to what we're seeing now under Javi is absolutely outstanding. And I think, yes, first half an hour, I thought Watford were tremendous. We could have easily gone in at half time, maybe 2-0 up. Ince was unlucky with a shot wide off a post. Like you say, Max Elaine hit the post as well. So maybe unlucky not to go in at half time at least 1-0 up. Then like 10 minutes before half time, I felt like we maybe slowed or maybe tired a little bit. Second half, Norwich came into it a little bit more, had more possession. But if you're Javi Gracia, you say to the players, and this was echoed on the Watford commentary last night, if you can't win, you don't lose. And we didn't look like losing last night. Yes, Norwich had a few chances, half chances as that. Selvit wasn't really troubled. I don't think he really had to make a save last night. But we kept Norwich at arm's length, and we would have walked away with 1 point. And I think before the game, if you offered it to me, Joe, or to yourself or any other Watford fan, you would have taken a point away from home at informed Norwich City, who's performing very well under their manager. And it was a difficult game, but just grinding out results at the moment or finding a way to win games. And like we did it away at Leicester the other day, like coming from behind. And like Leicester, yes, okay, they're struggling this season, but they're mid-table. They've still got a Premier League side from last season, and it's a King Power. It's a big stadium. It's to go there and put in a performance. But then you look back to a week before, 1-0 against Stoke City. Stoke have got the best defence in the league. They were in the playoffs a couple of weeks ago. We've had 3 outstanding performances back to back now, and like you say, it's just the confidence in the squad now. It's the momentum. It's rhythm of everything. And we just seem to keep rolling, and it makes you excited for the next fixture. And I honestly think Birmingham City at home next is going to be a cracking fixture for us. Potentially could be a sellout at Vicarage Road. I tried to get a ticket for Kate and Isla the other day, and they're coming along with me. Struggled to get 3 seats next to each other, and that's how well Watford are doing at the moment. The performances are getting people interested. The people that was like, Pozzo out, I'm not going to buy another ticket. They're starting to like look over the fence and go, you know what? We're actually stringing together a few points. Oh, what's that? Watford are 6th in the table. I want to get back down to Vicarage Road. There's that feel-good factor back now at Watford, isn't there, Joe? And all it needed was Javi Gracia and a string of results.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll tell you what I was thinking last night. It kind of made me a little bit frustrated because we kind of look back on those 3 home games that we touched on quite a bit on previous pods, the Bristol City, Sheffield Wednesday and Preston home games where we dropped points there. You think if we'd have got the maximum points there, we'd be a point clear of Middlesbrough and we'd be sitting in 2nd position. And obviously New Year would be a lot rosier, wouldn't it? But you know what? Like you say, I'll 100% take what we've got going on at the moment. I think, last night was, I think Norwich, I think I heard right in saying Norwich were going into the game on the back of 3 straight home wins.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, they would have been up for it. I think the most pleasing thing of the night for me is the fact that curly-haired arse up front didn't score again for a change, which made a nice change, didn't it? Not seeing him celebrate against us. But I mean, he was still heavily involved in the game, I thought.
Very lively, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I don't know about you. What did you think about the potential handball decision on him in the first half. It couldn't really get a good angle of it.
I couldn't really see it, if I'm totally honest. You've seen them given, you've seen them not given. Last night wasn't given. So yeah, difficult to say. But I thought he caused problems for Max Lane last night. But again, not to the detriment of Watford, where he's got on the back of the ball to score for Norwich City, which we've heard so many times when Josh Sargent comes up against us. I just think last night he probably cost Watford fans a few bob, because they would have put him down to score at any time or first goal scorer. But look, we'll take the hit. Watford have moved up to 6th in the table, so we'll definitely take that. Joe, do you think last night's win, like, how big is that win in context of the season?
I think it's huge. I think it just
And a potential turning point for Watford, maybe 3 wins in a row, a win away from home, last minute winner. Is that potentially like the turning point now?
Yeah, I think it's massively important, because I think, like you said, New Year's Day is going to be a game that is a winnable game. It's a game that all the fans will be up for now. Birmingham aren't so great away from home. Not saying they're not a threat. I mean, I'm sure they will be. And we've seen teams go on runs and then lose silly games. It could be one of them ones where we drop points again. But however, with 3 wins on the bounce, we go into it full of confidence. And going into, if we were to get 3 points there as well, it's massive for us going into a Hull away, which is going to be massive, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, with them beating Borough last night, that's put them 2 points off. 2 points off second position, I think it is, for them. So they're fighting that other automatic promotion spot now as well. I think it'd be great for the players to go into that fixture with 4 wins under their belts. And yeah, I just think it's a confidence thing. I think back to the Slavisa season, and even the season when I don't know if you noticed this, by the way, but the club yesterday posted the video from Dan Gosling scoring away at Norwich.
Yeah.
And it's actually really strange that it was the same end, the same corner, and the same result, and the same scoreline that we ended up winning by. And we obviously got promoted on the back of, I mean, for me, that was the game that really kind of did it for us in that season. And who knows, could that be a bit of deja vu, and could that be the like last night, the game that really kickstarts us? We saw in December under Slavisa Jokanovic, he started picking up results, didn't he? And we went on some unbelievable run towards the end of the season. Could this be now we're going on a run and we end up going up automatically? Who knows? But what a time to be alive.
Certainly. Well, 3 wins over Christmas period. You take that all day long. I don't know if you're feeling the same, Joe, but I know we've had Javi Gracia before, and I don't know if I've mentioned this on previous podcasts, but it is just like watching his team in the Premier League, isn't it? It's setting yourself up not to be beat, and maybe going into half time in the game, not losing, and then second half you try and nick it. We certainly did that yesterday with Semedo. And how pleased are you for Semedo? Obviously, he seems like a really good character behind the scenes, always smiling, always laughing, but he seems to always want to like swing his leg a shot and always have that chance. He always wants to try and get a shot away. Yes, maybe we could have seen him get a shot away earlier on in that second half, Joe, about 10, 15 minutes early, when he ran into the box and he just needed to hit it with his right foot. But obviously he's left footed, so he's reluctant to. But whenever it falls to him on the left foot, he always swings his foot at it. And he's done it at home to Sheffield Wednesday now to earn ourselves a point. And then he did it away yesterday at Norwich City to get all 3 points. But what kind of impact is Semedo having onto the team, and how pleased are you for him?
Yeah, massively. I think, for me, I think he's one of them players that really gives 110% when he's on the pitch. Like you said, he really wants to do well, and you can see that in his attitude and his work ethic on the pitch. Like he's always trying to be involved in something that's going on. I think, is that his 4th goal for us now, is it? Is it fourth?
I'll
I
have a
remember
quick look whilst we're on here.
I remember the one against Hull, obviously Sheffield Wednesday, and last night. I can't remember if there's another one.
The one for against Norwich City at the home game didn't count. I know that's for sure.
Oh,
The ref blew his whistle, didn't he?
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
unbelievable. Funniest moment of the season. That's going to go down as. But
Oh,
yeah,
it was brilliant, wasn't it?
you know what? I think it's great though, because we saw yesterday that Kurangard he struggled, didn't he, in that
Yeah.
first half yesterday, and obviously just having a different option, a different type of player to be able to bring on, and I think the fact that I think if he has scored four goals
Should
for us,
say three goals.
oh, it's three. Okay, but
Three goals and one assist.
that's still. I mean, if you include the involvements of Kerengo, I think that's 12 or 13 goal involvements for our strikers now this season, which is really good going.
Yeah.
It shows that if Kerengo's not on the pitch, Semedo's doing something. I think just having. I don't know about you, but I still believe, even though they're both doing all right, I do think we do still need another striker option within the squad, because my concern is that what I don't want is for us to be reliant on them, and let's say, I don't know, end of Jan, beginning of Feb, one of them gets injured and we're down to one striker. We're not going to get promoted on one striker.
No, I do feel like we need that experienced head, and I think Troy's touched upon this as well. On our three young strikers, they kind of need someone experienced to learn off, and I do think, obviously, we've got ourselves in a fantastic spot going into the new year in sixth place. I think Watford fans would have all bitten your hands off this, because it didn't look this likely 8-10 weeks ago. It looked like it was another mid-table finish for Watford, where now we've given ourselves a right old chance. And yes, the table's tight. Like a few wins, you can propel yourself right up into the table. And we're 3 points off second place, maybe? Not second, five off second place, or 2 off third, or something silly like that. Like a couple of wins, you can really propel yourself up the table. And we've really got to strengthen again in January, but I don't think we need too much, Joe. I honestly feel like 2 positions we need. We need to cover that centre midfield, and we need to get in an experienced centre forward. And I think that's all we really need. I think we need someone to come in who can possibly partner Imran Louza in a better way than Hector Cipriano has done. And Hector's done a good job, because he's allowing Imran Louza the licence to dictate play and pull the strings for Watford. So I think Cipriano does a lot of the ugly stuff that we don't really notice him doing. So he's going under the radar a bit. But if we can do something who's maybe got a bit more physicality in that middle of the midfield, a bit more bite, just to help out a little bit more defensively, then I think that would be brilliant. And then, yeah, get that centre forward in as well, who knows the league. And like I say, he knows the league, but we do kind of need that. We need that English spine to the team. We've got it with a back four now, and I think that's why we're seeing the clean sheets now. There's no miscommunication in that back line. You got Jeremy, you got Max, you got Matty, you got Mark, and they know each other. They can communicate well in that back line, and we're reaping the rewards of the back of that. So if we can maybe add a couple more like British-based players in like the centre forward, and maybe a stronger centre midfielder as well, I think we could really challenge for a successful season. What do you think we need, Joe? Those 2 positions, or would you add another one in?
No, I think you're probably right. I think we maybe need to see if we can get Ben Watson out of retirement, get him back in the spine, and see. I don't know. Should we see if Mate Vidra wants to come back from Pleasant over in Czech Republic? Wouldn't be a bad signing. I still reckon he'd do a job in the Championship now. But yeah,
he probably would have lost the odd of pace, but yeah, I reckon he'd still be able to. Look, if Andy Wyman can still play in the Championship, then I'm sure Matty Vidra can still play.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, and he'd still have he'd still probably have a yard or two on what was that centre half's name at Brighton that he completely outrun for that goal. Do you remember that goal he scored where
Was it Bruno? Was it?
Oh, Bruno, that's it. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was. Yeah. Good memory. But yeah, no, I think a centre midfielder and a striker spot on.
Mm,
I, with Watford, you never know who it's going to be, do you?
no.
It could be anybody. I'm sure there'll be. What are we now? We're two days away now from the window opening. So I imagine there'll be.
Yeah.
I did have a look at my transfer rumor website that I'm always on during transfer windows, and there was absolutely sod all on there. To there wasn't even a rumor, not even Watford are interested in certain signing, because usually there's a lot of garbage, a lot of rubbish, really uninteresting like links and stuff. But yeah, it was just all about our winner against Leicester City. So yeah, I mean, other than the rumor that I wanted to start the other day of Abdoulaye Doucouré coming back, I mean, I'd take him in that midfield at the moment. But yeah, I really don't know who they would even look at. I can't even think if there's anybody at Udinese that they'd chuck over at the moment, to be honest. I keep looking at their
Well,
team and seeing who's sitting
well,
on their
you got the centre midfielder Sandy Lodrick, who was linked with a move with Watford in the summer. He was made vice captain over in Indonesia. Their manager threw the toys out the pram after he was strongly linked with a move to Watford. But he's hardly played since he's been made vice captain, and
Is he
he's not
not?
got many minutes. So that might be something that Watford might revisit as well to try and look to get him back into the fold.
What's it? Would you say it was Lodrick? Is his name Lodrick? Is
Yeah,
that? Uh,
Loveridge.
Loveridge, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I wasn't. Oh yeah, Sandy Love. He's played five games all season for Udinese.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it potentially could be an option then. I mean, I heard good things about him, but obviously there was that news that came out. He was made vice captain, wasn't it? So, yeah, who knows? I mean, it could be a good addition to our midfield. It could be one that a move that serves him well and gives him some minutes for the rest of the season. But you know what? Like, if I'm being completely honest, I'm actually really pleased with how Hector Kyprianou's doing for us at the moment. I know that like
Yeah.
people obviously were skeptical about him for a little while because he did look a little bit out of his depth at times. But the way he's kind of like pulled his socks up, I think he's learnt a lot about the championship. He's wanted to be in the championship for a long time, playing consistently. I think it's the football's a lot different to what he's been used to at Peterborough, and I think yeah, I actually genuinely believe he actually could just keep that position within the side, and maybe we're just signing someone as cover. I think
Yeah.
for a long time, obviously, there was a lot of people on Twitter, on any form of social media platform that were wanting Javi out. We saw that a lot, didn't we? There were people that were,
We've got one in our WhatsApp group called Cam who never makes an appearance on here.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Cam was another one.
I tried to get an apology out of him last night for saying Javi out, but he weren't giving it to me. He was just trying to give me reasons and why he wanted to Javi out at that point. But
yeah,
he seems very stubborn.
yeah. It's when you kind of look back on it and you kind of look at how we're playing now, the players were wanting to do right by Javi, and they were wanting us to get, they were putting in the performances. Things weren't potentially coming off, but now it's now coming off. You can see what Javi's trying to do. You can see that
Yeah.
he's getting a tune out of these players, and you can see that the players are really wanting to play for him. And I think that now has all the ingredients for us moving forward. And you know what? If I'm being honest, when that cup draw was done, I looked at it and thought, we've probably not got a chance here. Like, it's a game that they'll probably, I don't know, throw it in a way. But now I'm looking at it with the run that we're on. If we can go into that with, I don't know, if we beat Birmingham, get a draw at Hull, that's, that's one defeat in 14. Say, for example, that game looks completely different. We might actually go there and win. I'm not saying, listen, I'm by no means am I saying we're going to get to the FA Cup final again. I'm not saying that at all. But it would be nice to maybe have a bit of a cup run, get to maybe the 4th, 5th round, have maybe a couple of away days, see what we're like against maybe a couple of Premier League sides. Just have a bit of a cup run, because that's all your fans want at the end of the day. Like, the cups are enjoyable. We live for those. I remember those cup runs against Southampton, Man United, Liverpool over 2 legs. I mean, I don't know if you were at all of those, one of those, but they were great occasions, weren't they?
No, definitely. There's just something about cup games that are special, aren't they? It's about creating memories and creating shocks, and the underdogs beating the favourites. That's what the cup games are all about. And Watford have always been the underdog, so that's why it kind of excites us whenever we get quite far in cup competitions. So, yeah, I'm all for that. I do think that, though, that he will probably make a lot of changes for the cup game if he carries on playing this same starting 11, because they will need a rest at one point. And if you ask Javi what's more important, I think he would want obviously to aim for promotion over the cup run. But yeah, it doesn't say I'm not excited for the cup game, because I'm certainly am for a cup run, because you just never know who you're going to get in the next round. Like, it could be a lower league ground that you've never been to before, or it could be a big team at home. Like, say if we got, I don't know, Liverpool at Vicarage Road in the 4th round, that's going to be a sellout. It's going to be a massive buzz, and it'll be on TV as well. And they're the games that are exciting, because we could cause an upset here. We've beaten Liverpool 3-0 at home in the Premier League. We can beat them again. So yeah, it gets you that excitement flowing, doesn't it? Going back to Hector Cipriani, Gareth makes a good point here. Hector, I feel, isn't the best on the ball, but he does a lot off the ball. He takes a lot of good yellows for the team as well. I do feel like his performances have gone under the radar, and not against Stoke City, because I actually thought he was up there for man of the match. That was probably his best performance in a Watford shirt for me. He was absolutely fantastic. So if he can continue that form, I'm all for him keeping his spot in the team. And I don't know if anyone else has read the interview with Hector Cipriani with the Watford Observer. I want to say in the last few days, he was asked about coming out of a team where he lost his place to Edo Kiembe, and he said it was probably exactly what he needed at that time. He needed to refocus, and he needed to win his spot back. And since he's done that, he's not looked back, and he's looked stronger for it. So I think him coming out of the team, it's probably helped him to become stronger, and his performances definitely have improved more. What I want to talk about now, Joe, is, do you see Watford actually? A few weeks ago, and yes, we did it against Leicester, we would always go behind and then find our way back into the game. But that's 2 clean sheets in our last 3 games now. Do you feel like Watford are moving away from being that team who are having to come from behind to win games, where we can actually keep that clean sheet and oppose ourselves onto the opposition?
Yeah, I think I mean, that was massively frustrating again, wasn't it? I mean, that was probably 7th minute, I think, Leicester. Poor discipline again. I found it massively frustrating. I sat there just thinking, like, it was going to be. Well, do you know what? Actually, there was something in me. I mean, the way we started that game, I wasn't actually. When you see Watford, usually we start games poorly, and you can see within, like, the attitude, the overall attitude. When we concede, you can usually tell it's going to be more of a struggle. But I thought with the first sort of 5-6 minutes at Leicester, I thought we actually started the game really strongly and played really well. When they scored, I actually sat there and thought, you know what? I'm not panicking at the moment. I thought, we've obviously, as we know, that's 23 points, isn't it, from losing positions that we've got now. Which is still an English league high over the 4 divisions, which is fantastic. I mean, the fact, what's that, 38 points we're on at the moment, and 23 of those are from losing positions, which is insane, really. But I think, sorry, going on to your point, I think, the fact that we're starting to keep clean sheets, we're keeping teams out, just shows, just how much we are improving as a side defensively. Between those four at the back, I watched Ngakia last night and Bola in particular. I was slating those two the other week because I was complaining that the reason that we were starting games poorly and conceding because those two were pressing so high up the pitch at the start of games, so it was exposing the left and right sides, and teams were exploiting that. Now you're seeing them play. They're playing sitting much deeper at the start of games, and yeah, we are doing a lot better from the off. And I think defensively, that back line. This is a big statement from me, but I actually think it's one of my favourite back lines I've seen at Watford FC in recent years. I don't know about you. Can you recall a four that you enjoy as much as what you see from these guys?
I think they're all enjoyable. I think they're great characters, and they give absolutely everything for the shirt, and they always give 110%. I saw someone compare Max Alain's loan spell to Nathan Aké's loan spell when we was in the Premier League, and I think that's absolutely spot on. I think it's exactly what we need, is someone coming from a higher club to be educated at Watford and playing week in, week out, and you can just see he's so above everyone else with his ceiling. Like he could go to the very, very top. And I say very, very top. He's playing for one of the biggest clubs in the country, but they are all likable, Joe. Like you say, they are. You know what? I just love this team. Look, you don't have to be the best, but what you have to do for me is always give it your all. Never throw in a towel. And as John Cena says, never give up. There's my wrestling reference for everyone who's another massive WWE fans like me. But you just got to just keep going and always give 110%. But when you add technical genius into that with Imran Loser, Georgie Chapadassi, the wizardry of Off My Mama, Rocco Vata, the pace of Quadro Bar, Irukunda, the instinctive finishes of Lucan Kirangard, Semedo always throwing his left foot at shots. And then you've got the warriors in defence like Max Alain and Matty Pollock, and the fullbacks who are contributing up and down the line with Bowler and Ngakia, and a solid keeper behind them as well who's good with his feet. It's just an all-round enjoyable, likeable bunch of players, isn't it?
Yeah, and do you know what? Touching on Georgie Chadvikatsi, I've got to say, like,
he's getting better with each game, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah,
he's getting back up there.
He's just like he's looking like his old self, isn't he? Like the way he picks up the ball. I mean, I literally, when he took that shot last night, he picked up the ball on the left hand side, and he cut in and he curled an effort. It just hit the back of the roof of the net. But yeah, I mean, he's looking fantastic again. Like I really, really, really am so pleased that it's working out for him and he's getting back to his best. I mean, it was great to see him pick up that ball on the right side. That he put that ball across to Tom Ince, a superb ball across. Tom Ince was really unlucky, obviously not to score. I think he set himself just a little bit incorrectly, didn't he, for the shot, and was very unlucky. But yeah, my only concern, obviously, with Chadvikatsi is obviously just hitting form again. We've got a window that's coming up and open, and obviously we don't know how true rumours were previously, but if they were, there were a few clubs interested in him before he got injured, weren't there? So you'd expect maybe one or two things to potentially crop up over the January window about him. Can you potentially see anyone from the squad leaving over the January transfer window?
Absolutely not. Not from the starting 11 that we've got at the moment. I don't think Gino would allow it, and why should he when they're all tied down to contracts, and Watford are playing the best football that they have done for a very long time. It's exciting. We're in the playoffs. I don't think look, Gino would get a lot more for these players if we're in the Premier League than if he cashes into them now in the Championship. There's such a reward for Watford to get promoted this season now. And yes, I've thrown that in there. But there's a real possibility. Like, this isn't the best Championship by a long way. And Watford we're probably a lot better than a lot of teams above us. I think the two that probably stand out for me is, okay, Coventry are having a bit of a blip, but on their day, one of the best in the leagues, and they're top of the table for that reason. The only other one I would put up there is Ipswich. I could easily say Watford are probably the third best team in this division. I think we're better than Hull. We've beaten them already at home this season. I think we're better than Millwall. Yes, we lost at the New Den, but come on, foremost Mendy was at right back and Pezzolano didn't have a clue. We're better than Preston. We're better than who else is in the playoff?
Well, I'm just looking now. I was just about to say, when you look at the table, you've gone through, obviously, Hull and Millwall were occupying the playoffs there with Ipswich above them. You've then got
Middlesbrough. We're better than Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I think so. And you then go down. You've got Preston, Bristol City, QPR, Stoke, and Wrexham. I mean, we're better than all of them, I think, on paper.
100%. So I think if we keep this squad together, I do think we are probably the third best squad in the Championship.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the bottom half of the table is strong. When you look at it, you've got the likes of Leicester occupying the bottom of the top half. Then you've got Southampton. You've got Birmingham, probably should be doing a bit better. West Brom, you'd expect to be further up there. Sheffield United aren't doing so well. There's Norwich. Should be really theoretically probably in and around the top 10 as opposed to where they are. It's a real odd year, isn't it, in the Championship, and teams aren't where they're meant to be. So
it's crazy what 3 wins does to your perspective and your thought processes. Like 3 games ago, I wouldn't have said Watford are like the third best team in the Championship.
But when you look at like losses, for example, as well. I was looking at this last night. We've actually lost the third least amount of games in the league this season. Like, there's Coventry with 3, Borough and Ipswich with 5, and then and Preston on 5 as well. Then you've got us and Wrexham on 6. So we're not losing games. The problem with us and what's let us down is the fact that we've bloody drawn too many games. And that's
our big issue was our away form, wasn't it, Joe? And until Javi Gracia came in, we were atrocious away from home. He came in, he steadied the ship. We picked up some good points away from home. Like a draw away at Ipswich, for example, was brilliant. Then we've gone on and we've beaten Derby away. We've beaten Leicester away. Now we've beaten Norwich away. All of a sudden, that, for one of the worst away forms, has probably gone up there to maybe being like the top in the top 10 or something for the away form. So we know we're good at home. We know we can get results at home. If we can carry on picking up the odd win here and there and not lose our away games, we'll be well cemented into the playoffs come the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I think the fact that we're just home and away now just looking difficult to beat, and like you said, since he's come in, the points that we picked up under Pezzolano, there's no way we're picking up those points. We're not going to Ipswich. We're not grinding out a 1-1 draw there. We're not showing the tenacity, the desire to see that out and come away with the point there. Derby, at 2-1 down, no way in a month of Sundays under Pezzolano am I going, we're gonna win this game. But the players just are showing that desire under Gracia. They just show the want to get the 3 points, and their heads aren't dropping, and they're actually playing till the final whistle. You can see that, as much as we take the mick out of him, just little moments like Musa Sissoko in the corner, just showing all his strength and just trying to keep people off the ball in the corner. Every person that's coming on is standing up and being counted for. Do you know what I mean? They're literally they're throwing everything into it. We were panicking last night when Loser and Ngakia came off, and we brought on, it was Sissoko and Abankor, wasn't it, that came? Oh no, it was Mendy and Abankor, wasn't it? We were panicking at the 2 changes, actually, they played really well, the pair of them. Like there was no problems. As a squad, we've got depth, we've got quality, we've got
Mhm.
people that can come in, we've got people that can replace the quality that we all have in our starting 11. And I've got no concerns for me at the moment, the way this team's playing, that if Gracia said on New Year's Day, if Loser needed to, I don't know, start from the bench, we've got Napoli's Mendy to come in, and I'd be more than happy to see him in the midfield. Like it wouldn't
Mm.
panic me, would it? Would it you?
No, it wouldn't panic me at all. And I was just going to get onto him as well. But before I did get over to him, I just wanted to say you mentioned about the players showing heart and desire to get the 3 points. I think Javi Gracia is doing it with his substitutions. There's no way that Pezzolano would have made a positive change with Ince coming off and Irakunda coming on. I feel like he would have tried to protect what he had and gone like, you know what, a point here, that will do me. Javi Gracia is in a few games lately. He's making positive substitutions, and he's saying, "No, let's go for a win. Let's not settle for a point. Let's go for a win." And that's something I've really taken from probably the last 3, 4 games from Javi Gracia. I thought he would be a bit more protective of what he's got, but he's doing the opposite for me. And I don't know if that's down to maybe the squad that he's got, Joe. Maybe he's got a few more options at his disposal to try and make a positive turn a like a draw into a victory. But I've been really impressed by his substitutions lately. And like you say, with Mendy, for example, he couldn't get a kick for 8 weeks under Javi Gracia. We've seen him come on for 5 minutes at home to Stoke City. He didn't come on against Leicester. And then last night he came on for about 27 minutes, 30 minutes. Yes, okay, it was probably he wouldn't have came on if Loser didn't pick up that little knock to his shoulder, but he didn't do himself any harm last night coming on, and he showed Gracia, look, I'm a player and you can trust me, because he was tidy. He's so sharp in over about 10 yards. Like, he's really sharp. He's really quick. He wins interceptions. He keeps the ball ticking over. I think there was one point where we won the ball back after we was 1-0 up, and we could have gone forward, but he was like, no, let's just keep the ball, and he passed it back to the back four, and it was just like, it was nice to keep the ball moving and not just hit a long one and it goes out of play and Norwich has got possession back. He's an intelligent player. He hasn't gone on to play Champions League football for Leicester for nothing. Like he's a really good player, and he hasn't done he hasn't done himself any harm in his performance yesterday, has he?
No, not at all. And I agree. I think the way he wins the ball back, and his vision as well, his passing vision is just great. He'll pick out little passes here and there that you wouldn't expect maybe other people to pick out. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to see him in and around the squad now. I hope he gets some more game time. I really think he's going to be a big squad player between now and the end of the season. And I think whether he starts games or he comes off the bench, I think he's going to be a great one to have in and around the squad. But I think, just talking about like squad depth and stuff, we've obviously seen Irakunda come on the last couple of away games and stuff, and he's been doing well. It was a superb assist last night. It kind of the run reminded me of Gareth Bale. I don't know if you remember the goal that I'm thinking of,
Yeah.
when he ran the length of the pitch and he came
He
kind of,
ran off the pitch to come back on, didn't he?
yeah, he did, yeah, and kind of Irakunda didn't go off the pitch, but he certainly went round the player last night and managed to get a yard or two on.
Lightning quick, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was superb, absolutely superb. And it was, do you know what? I mean, I've been his biggest critic over the last few weeks. I really think he's been poor. I have not seen the Irakunda that started the start of the season for us. Obviously, we know he's had some difficulties, and obviously his head's maybe not been in the right place for it. But the fact that he's come in and he's done that last night just shows me that his desire is still there and his want to do well is still there. So, yeah, that was great to see. And even the cameo off the bench, I don't know if you noticed, at Leicester. James Morris we saw in a Watford shirt briefly, which was a big
He was
shot, wasn't
buzzing to get on the pitch, weren't he?
it? Yeah, he literally would have been like, yeah. I mean, that's the first time. It's the first time I think we've seen him, isn't it, this season in a Watford shirt on a pitch?
I want to say he's played under Pezzolano. I don't know what game, but I'm pretty sure he has featured at some point this season.
He might have played
But
in the
again, a good squad player.
Yeah, a good squad player,
But,
as you say. He's out of
but with
contract.
Iracunda,
Sorry.
Joe.
No, I was just going to say he's out of contract in the summer, isn't he? So,
Yeah.
in the games that he is going to be coming on, whether it be for 5 minutes at the end of the Leicester game, obviously of '96, I think that went to. He's got to still prove that he wants to be here and obviously try and win a contract, isn't he? So he's not going to just give up and go, oh, well, I'm going to be leaving at the end of the season. He's going to want to show what he can offer still and hopefully be part of this squad moving forward.
No, like you say, he's got something to work for, hasn't he? So he's not going to throw in a towel or put in poor performances. He wants to maybe earn a new contract, like you say. So no, I don't mind him being in and around the squad. He's just nowhere near that first 11, is he? But as an option off the bench if we need him, because
Yeah,
obviously Caleb Wiley's nowhere to be seen. I think he's a good option to have in and around, but he's got a good bond with the Watford players as well, like Matty Pollock. I think they're best powers off the pitch. So good lad to have in and around. And going back to Iracunda, Joe, as well. Like I was the same as you. I was disappointed with his performances, but yes, it probably relates to the stuff he had going on off the pitch. But lately, his confidence seems to be returning, and that's now why we're seeing probably the best of Iracunda. And like, yes, he didn't score yesterday, but that must have felt like a goal for him with that assist.
Yeah, 100%. You could see that within the joy on his face. You see how happy he was, the celebration when he was wheeling away with Semedo and the rest of the team. Yeah, you can see that the passion's still there for him. And I just hope that he kicks on with this now. What we want to see. Well, here's the thing. For me, I think Tom Ince has been fantastic since he's been starting for Watford. Like, he's really, really impressed me. Like, a lot more than I expected. I thought maybe the amount of starts that he'd been getting is too much. But I think the fact that Javi's put the trust in him and probably put an arm around him and said, look, I believe that you've still got the quality to be a starter in this league. I believe that you still play a big part in this squad and this starting 11, is giving him that hunger and desire to want to be on the pitch, to want to show, like, you could see I don't know about you, but the frustration from him not scoring last night, when I've seen him miss chances for us previously, he's kind of just turned around and kind of gone back to position for, I don't know, a goal kick to be taken or whatever. Last night, he literally was like so angry, wasn't he? You could see the hunger was there to want to score. And I think Javi coming in has like reignited that light for him. And I do believe that it's going to take something special for him to come out of the side at the moment. But, well, I say something special. I mean, we saw from, I believe it was Adam Drury, was it, that mentioned something on the Watford Observer last night that Quadro Bar's going to be in the squad for Thursday, or potentially going to be in the squad?
They mentioned it on the live coverage of BBC Three Counties Radio last night on Watford
Okay.
I Follow. So they mentioned it, and then some Watford podcasts put it out as news. So
Right, okay.
he is ahead of schedule, and it looks like he will be featuring in the matchday squad against Birmingham. So, but even when Quadro Bar's fit, I don't think there's a place for Quadro Bar in this starting 11. I still think I would probably play Ince ahead of him. For me, Quadro Bar is a great option to have for the bench, same as Iracunda. Pace off the bench against tired legs is always going to win you games, and I feel like having them on either side would be a great option for us. And I just think with Ince, and with your observation of his frustration of missing that chance, that says to me he's just enjoying football again. And I think you need to have that bug, and Javi's given that back to Tom Ince. And I like him as a player. Like, yes, okay, you can probably say not many people like the Inces because of what they are. But you can't fault their effort on the pitch for his dad or for the son. Tom Ince always gives 110%. You might not like him; he's a bit like Marmite, but for me, he does a job. He does a great way of protecting our defence. He gets into a position and he protects that back line, and he gives that protection for Ngakia as well. And I just feel like he helps protect the shape of the team. You wouldn't get that with Cordoba. He'll be too far forward on the right hand side, and then that would leave a gap, and maybe Ngakia would be exposed. And I think this is why we're seeing the best out of Ngakia at the moment, because he's not exposed. And with Tom Ince, I feel like he is the Will Hughes of the team. When we had him in the Premier League, he's not a left wing, a left midfielder or a right midfielder like Will Hughes was. He was a centre midfielder, but Javi trusted him. He trusted him into his system, and he did a job. He wasn't going to take on his man and put deliveries into a box, but what he was going to get out of Will Hughes was he was going to run himself into a ground, and he was going to keep yourself compact and keep you in that shape, and then in the second half you would go on and you would nick the win. And that's how Watford was successful under Javi Gracia in the Premier League. And we're seeing that with Tom Ince in this side. So, yeah, for me, he has to stay into the starting 11, and he would be ahead of Quadra for me at the moment.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. I think as much as I like Quadra, I think it's going to take a lot for him to become a starter within this squad at the moment. I think even when Vata comes back, I think Vata starts ahead of him for me. But yeah, I'm excited to having him. Have him coming back is another option off the bench, like you say. Pace against tired legs is exactly what you need, and it proved last night, didn't it? Those fullbacks in Norwich, they were looking tired. Iran Kundum, he got a yard or two on. I can't remember who it was now. That was the fullback, but he was firmly in the distance when he picked up the ball and put it across. And yeah, I mean, we got lucky with the goal, but my word, I mean, it was great to see them scenes in the away end, wasn't it? It was a reward for a long journey for those fans on a Monday night.
100%, and the traffic was awful as well, because there was an accident on the A road leading up to Norwich as well, so it caused a lot of issues for the travelling Watford fans. But yeah, they were loud all evening, so fair play to every single one of them. We'll wrap it up shortly, but I did want to mention quickly, Joe, with us moving up to sixth in the table, obviously Birmingham City at home on New Year's Day, do you think Watford are now being viewed differently by other teams in the league?
Honestly, no, I don't. Just because of some of the interviews that we've seen from managers this season, where they've said that Watford have posed a massive threat and probably haven't come away from games of what we should have done. I can't remember. Chris Davis was one.
Frank Lampard.
Frank Lampard was another. I think that there's been three this season. So I think that managers know what we're about. I think after that game we played against Coventry, when Frank Lampard looked at the table to see when they're playing Watford, I think he was probably over the moon that it was last game of the season, because he was, by no means is he probably thinking, oh yeah, we're going to have the league sewn up, but hopefully they will have at least got promotion guaranteed, so it's not too much of a concern. But yeah, I think managers are weary of us. I think they're weary of our pace. I think they're weary of the options that we've got among our squad. I think we're here and we talk up our squad and we say that it's the third best on paper, but I think other managers probably look at that. And if I'm being completely honest, I reckon, let's be honest, I would say that at least, at the very, very least, 50% of our squad gets into those top three sides that are currently in the Championship at the moment. I think Loser being one. I think Chad Vikatsi being another. I think Max Elaine gets in as well. Just to name a few, but these players would easily walk into these sides, and I think managers are probably looking and thinking they've assembled a really, really good squad. We've got an option to get one or two really good additions, and I think there's an option to really kick on. And I think there's probably managers looking, thinking they're now probably in a rightful position at the moment based on how they've been playing so far this season, and we've now just got the opportunity here to kick on. And I think that's what we're going to do. I genuinely believe we're going to do that now.
I think it's maybe more of a case then, Joe, where managers might be looking at Watford now in the table going, that's probably where they deserve to be. They probably weren't there earlier on in the season, and we knew they were a good team. But now Watford are actually they're not going under the radar because we've been spoken about by previous managers. But now they're like, okay, yeah, they're backing it up now. They're actually putting performances in, and they're going to be there or thereabouts come the end of the season.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I do think I do think we're going to be in and around the playoffs now. I think it's going to be hard to get us out and us fall adrift. I think we are going to cement a place in the playoffs. It's just to how much we kick on from here and whether we can actually get into that second spot. Because I watched the Ipswich game last night before our game started, and that's probably the best I've seen Ipswich play all season. I thought they were absolutely top draw last night away at Coventry, and they were unlucky really not to win like 3-4-0 if it wasn't for the fantastic goalkeeping of Jack Russell.
It's unreal. Best keeper in the division.
Yeah, and when you said that, the commentator on the telly said exactly the same thing. It was like you two were texting each other. You got that in our chat. Yeah, it was. It made me laugh. But I think we just need to keep the momentum going. And if we do, I do think we're going to win on New Year's Day. Whether we win on Sunday at Hull is another thing, because Hull are really playing well at the moment. And our record is mixed there. It's just if we don't win at Hull, we've just got to pick our heads up. We've got 2 home games in the league after that, Millwall and Portsmouth. We're really lucky with some of the home games we've got coming up. We've just got to keep the momentum going and just keep things ticking over. And who knows, come, I don't know, Easter Monday or Good Friday, those fixtures, we could be second again.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's hard. It's hard not to be there.
It's crazy, honestly. It's amazing what a few wins does. There was you and me talking on one of our podcasts probably about 3 weeks ago. We was like, oh yeah, and Gina was feeding us lies by saying, oh, we want promotion and we'd be challenging for promotion. We was like, yeah, all right, give us the next one. But it's now we're actually like, all right, I want what Gino's been smoking.
Yeah.
We can see it, we can feel it. So yeah, right, Birmingham City at home, New Year's Day, Joe. You're going to be there. I'm going to be there. Give us a score prediction.
I'm not going to be there, unfortunately. I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm not going now.
Yeah, no. Well, I wasn't going originally just because of trains and stuff. It's a pain. Just New Year's Day is there's just nothing. I don't actually think there's definitely not any trains from Portsmouth because
you're right. Yeah, it's the same as Boxing Day. It's a nightmare, isn't it? They don't put any trains on. There might be underground services, and that's literally it.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. So as much as I want to do it, it's just one of those where I'm just going to give it a miss. I think I've done like the last 5 home games, and then I'll be doing the next 3 as well. I'll be doing Millwall, Portsmouth and Swansea. So I've got a good run of fixtures coming up. So, but yeah, score prediction. I'm going to go for. Do you know what? I actually think we're going to score some goals. I'm actually going to say 3-1 Watford.
Ooh, wow. We haven't scored 3 at home since Middlesbrough, I think, wasn't it? So
yeah,
I'll take that.
Lost. Yeah, I think I think there's some goals, and I actually think Chad Vakatsi is going to score. I think Othman Mama is going to score, and I reckon Semedo might get himself another one. I think he want to build on the goal.
Yeah, there's a possibility he might get the start. But on the stream I was watching last night, I mean, on the radio I was listening to last night, they were saying that Luca's actually been suffering with a bit of a sickness during the week, so that's why he probably departed at half time last night. But Semedo did well. He came on, he scored. He you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket, and that's what Semedo did with that chance in the box. Yeah, I think he's maybe warranted a start against Birmingham, and that Birmingham's going to be missing their manager. He got sent off last night, so he will be in the rookery end with his brother. So that was probably all tactical. And then I hear Damari Gray's going to be missing, big star player, and also their centre back got a straight red against Derby County on Boxing Day, so I think he misses his Watford game as well. Clara, big centre half captain as
Yeah,
well. So we're missing a few players. It won't. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game. It's going to be tough. Birmingham are a tough side this season. They've came up. They've done extremely well. So I think we'll win. I'm going to go for 4 wins in a row, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 Watford win. I think we can keep a clean sheet again. I really have faith in this back four, and look, I'm just enjoying life under Javi Gracia. So I'm here for it, and long may it continue. But yeah, that's going to be it now for this episode of The Voice of Vic. As always, a massive thank you to everyone who's listened and watched. Your support generally means a lot to us. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and get involved in the comments below and let us know your thoughts on the win at Norwich City and how you're feeling about this playoff push. Next up for Watford is a New Year's Day clash with Birmingham City, another big game as this run continues. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. So up the Orns.
Happy New Year.